So it's been a long while since I've made one of these episodes about hormone health, and I have been learning a ton. I've actually taught a course, an 8-week course. It was a lot of fun. And as my higher self would have it, after the course was pretty much over, I found a book that I'm really enjoying and learning a lot from, and it all relates to hormones. And I had an aha moment today. My intuition kicked in, as it often does when I'm dealing with health related stuff. Um, and here's how that went. So basically, a lot of women that I've talked to who are experiencing menopause or perimenopause, but more often the previous, um, they explain that all of a sudden they have a belly pooch and their weight hasn't changed and their exercise routine hasn't changed and their diet hasn't changed. And of course, you think, well, is that possible, first of all, that your weight hasn't changed and yet all of a sudden you've got this poochy belly? Yeah, it is. And second of all, like maybe they just are eating different foods, or maybe they're just not realizing, or whatever. And so I've kind of dismissed it with those type of thoughts, like, and obviously your hormones are changing, and that doesn't influence a lot of things more than what most people realize. Um, but what dawned on me today, and what I'm on here to share briefly, is as your body is dealing with an excess of estrogen, which sounds like the opposite of what happens during menopause, but there's a whole backstory on how that can happen, more than what I'm going to get into right now. Um, if your body is over toxified and struggling to keep up with that demand of removing the used up estrogen, which is primarily the job of your liver, but other detox systems get involved as well, then your body will store that in your fat cells. And even though you might be on this awesome diet reset plan and doing all the things, you struggle with like that last 5 or 10 pounds. I was listening to this woman, Alyssa, somebody, share on this, and she said, and this makes so much sense, that your body will not allow you to release those last few pounds, knowing that your cells are filled with those toxins, and that by releasing that weight, those toxins will also be released and your body will not be able to handle the load. So as we are divinely created and designed, however you want to imagine that, whatever story you give that, our cells are intelligent, and our body is able to know when to determine to let go of toxins or not, among the many other myriad of awesomeness things that it does. So when you are struggling with losing that last few pounds, consider that aspect is that maybe you're holding on to excess estrogen. Also, for those women who I started out this reel talking about, who all of a sudden have a pooch on their belly that they can't seem to get rid of, again, that may very well be. And this is a intuitive thought that I had. I don't have rock science proof of it, but it makes a lot of sense based on all the learning that I've done. To give you a quick recap, very quick recap of how a person could end up both estrogen dominant and in menopause, it goes something like this. Your liver, which does a ton of work for you besides just detoxing, it manufactures a lot of things, gets overloaded because your blood sugar isn't happy. And that can happen for a number of reasons, more than I'm going to get into right now. Even if you are a person who looks like their weight is fine, or maybe you're hypoglycemic and you're like, no, that's not me. You're likely creating, based on an imbalance where your blood sugar levels are dipping and spiking, you're forcing your liver to have to pump out a bunch of extra, well, rather your pancreas to pump out a bunch of extra insulin, and then um, your body having to turn that over to the liver and create fatty liver deposits, because all this glucose rather, is in the blood system and needs some place to go, because otherwise, you can go into a coma from too high blood sugar. So um, your body's protecting you, and it's throwing that shit in the liver, and then your liver is so overrun with all of this extra sludge that when estrogen is being disposed of, instead of being able to process that properly, because the nutrients that are supporting the detox process are not available, um, it instead says, okay, well, we'll just pack that shit in there too and save it for a day when our resources are much better. And if that day doesn't come, then it just keeps building up. If you have symptoms like um, skin rashes, autoimmune problems, um, lack of energy, IBS, all of it ties in to imbalance in hormones. And I know that sounds like I'm stretching that way out, but there's a lot of science behind it, more than I'm going to share right now. But just wanted to encourage those of you who are struggling in any of those areas, and pretty excited, honestly, about my intuitive thought that pooch is actually your body holding on to that extra um, toxins in the form of fat cells in your belly. Um, so, hope this was helpful. I enjoyed sharing it either way. Make it a great day.